talk like how it is. All right, St. James, is that good?
That's good.
All right. How are we doing this morning?
Nice. How you doing?
I'm going to have y'all introduce yourselves on the air. Go ahead.
I'm Pastor Keith Stanford from Christian World Ministries and Bridges Hope Ministries.
And you, Miss Lady?
I'm Chaka Jones from Victoria, Texas.
All right, and you guys are both involved in youth ministries, is that correct?
Yes.
But you both are involved in two separate forms or two separate types. Now, I want you, Miss Chaka, to explain what it is that God has you doing in your life concerning the ministry and youth.
Okay, what God has me doing is, I really don't have, money and stuff like that. The money is not all important in my situation. As I grew up, I had a mother who was out there on drugs. I didn't have things. I heard it, and I didn't mind the hurt. When I was younger, I knew God, but I just didn't understand. I didn't understand Him. So at times I would get mad at God because of the things I had to go through. But after I started learning Him, I set my mom down, and I told her, God gave me to you, and I'm borrowed. I belong to God, but He lent me to this life with you. And, I had to kind of put my foot down with her, but due to that, I'm glad that I went through what I went through. I mean, I went through being molested at 5. I mean, I've been raped 7 more times after that. And I'm able to talk about it because God got me over that. And so I raped and got pregnant. I was 15. And I knew that that baby would be the only thing that loved me, but my mama made me get an abortion and kill my child. That's a sin, because in that case that's still murder, but I was young, so I had no choice but to listen to my mom. I got pregnant again, and I refused. When they told me I was going to do it again, I didn't. So I had to make that choice. I was 16. I made that choice, because I figured I've been raising myself, really, so I had to go, oh man, it was painful. So that's why I like to reach out to the youth. Young men, but mainly the females. And I'm strong on the females and the young women because they get pregnant. Okay, and I let them know it's not an easy road. I mean, baby, it's hard. It's hard because the things you do, you can't do it no more. The little money you have, when you want to get your hair and nails done, that's going on to that baby.
I know that's right.
Okay, baby, your Christmases, you may get some, but it's all about the baby. And it ain't your mama's job to raise that baby that you have.
Well, let me ask you a question. All of the stuff that you have gone through growing up, most people would continue to stay in a state of hatred and unforgiveness for the majority of their life. So what did you do, or what process did God take you through to be willing to let that go? Because that's a lot. That's a lot to let go of, and that's a lot of reforming and reshaping and remolding that God has to do in your heart and in your mind. So what was it that God did for you specifically to take you through that? That's a lot. That's a lot to go through.
I was angry, and but I instilled in myself strength. I instilled in myself at a young age willpower and determination. So I took what happened to me and changed it to something good, because it was painful to do that. So I was like, I'm not going to do that because that hurts. I knew what pain was, but I also knew what love was. And my love took over that pain. So then, even at a young age, I even helped adults. I mean, I babysitted for this lady. She was prostituting, and her husband was a pimp. He used to beat her. I changed that because, like I told him, I see that. I changed that. He began to love them. They had a beautiful relationship. And afterwards, I don't even have to know nobody to help them. There's been times to where it was me and my 3 kids, with my 2 at first. I had like 2 packs of meat, maybe in the icebox, and I seen this lady, they were hungry. I gave her a pack of meat. I wasn't worried about what she can give me, because a few days later, I got blessed with food stamps. Like, where did this come from? And I knew where it come from. So you got to have a heart, and you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. It starts with yourself. It's a process. You got to love yourself before you can give love. And I started loving myself, even though through the pain, I fought it. So now at my age now, I love to help anybody. It don't have to just be the youth. It can be adults too. And I'm going to extend my heart. But I'm also going to sit down and talk to them. But I can't talk to nobody if I ain't preached to myself. Ain't got it right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not no hypocrite. And like I told Mr. Lockhart today, I'm not fake. The only thing fake on me today is these nails in my hair color. So, you know, I can preach. You know, I can preach, I can minister. But you, like I say, God called you in different areas. And my area is to love and to help and to be devoted.
But you know what's interesting about all of that is that so many people, when they go through scenarios or situations like maybe you have or maybe I have or anybody in this room has, the issue about it is it's the identity that's been planted on the inside of you that tells you you're not worth anything because look at all that's happened to you. So you have to get into a place where you have to allow God to show you who you really, really are. But because the mentality that you have is so corrupted based on how others have treated you and what others have spoken over you, it's hard to come out of that place. And so many people want to come out of it, but they just don't know how to do it. And they have a hard time hearing what God is saying because what they see is contrary to what God is saying about them. So in your life, what all did God speak over you throughout this process to get you to a point where you said, you know what, God, whether I believe what you say or I don't believe what you say, I want to see this for myself and try this out to see if you're correct, because what I'm dealing with right now is not what you're saying. I'm living in a place of reality right now. What you're speaking to me is not my reality today. So how is it, what did God do with you, or what did he speak over you that made you get into a position to come out of where you're at?
Okay, first of all, he made me bump my head, which was the rape situation, because I was just, you know, I was wilding out. I had nobody to lead me. I was wilding out. So when I hit my head being raped, you know, I was like, okay, that didn't stop me. That still didn't stop me. You know, I was hard-headed. Okay, the reason I'm close to him now is self-time. Self-time with him. Me and him. Okay, I taught myself. Because I was like, God, I hate you. You know, I don't like you every time something happens. But then more stuff started happening. And I knew about the devil, so I started getting mad at the devil. Because people think everything is God, baby. The devil can fool you. He can make things look so good. I was his friend then. He had me. He was running me up until I got 20-some years old. He ran me, and the weakness was with a relationship with a man because I was so gullible. You know, but I never put a man before my kids. I was gullible. Oh, if he cheated on me or whatever, I was just too gullible. That's how he hurt me. So I was like, I got to get some God up in this. You know what I'm saying? Like you mix up some coffee. I like sugar and cream. I had to mix Jesus and God up with me. And when I started doing that, I got to reading them Bibles. I got to being persistent on what I wanted. You know, you got to be persistent. You know, get what everybody else said. I knew what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? And then I asked God, please show me confirmation. And baby, I'm telling you, he may not come when you want him, but he's going to come. And he started showing me, and I started getting the power. I started defeating Satan. Satan don't like that, you know what I'm saying? So he tried to work through my kids, baby, but I taught them the word of God, so we all stumped him. You know what I'm saying? I cast him back to hell where he belongs, and that's where he gonna stay, because I'm not scared of him.
I know that's right. And before you go on and tell that story, we're going to go on a break real quick and be right back.